So Valentine is coming, and what a beautiful way to start the month of February. We are currently at Delfi Ventures. It's a chocolate processing company here in Accra, Ghana, and I'll be speaking with Chef D. He's the production manager. This is my favorite chocolate package because, of course, it's Valentine, and of course, it's about love. He'll be taking us through the process of making chocolates, sourcing the cocoa, the history behind it, and how you can grab this for your loved ones. My name is Lily Baba Otu, and this is Inspiring Startup. So we are currently in the factory where all the magic takes place at Delfi Ventures Cocoa Museum and Chocolate Factory, and I am currently with Chef Nee. He's going to take us through a very short process of how everything takes place here for us to get the magic of the chocolates, of the cocoa powder, and everything that they do over here. Chef Nee, please run us through the procedure.
All right, so right here is a range of machines that help in the chocolate making process. This is a temporary storage unit known as a bain-marie or a melting tank. Right, so right now we have dark chocolates in here. If you can come close. This is dark melted chocolate. All right. So now you'd wonder, how does this liquid chocolate become hard and stable? Yeah. That's the process we are going to be taking you through today. A process known as tempering. So we'd transfer the melted chocolate into a bowl. Alright, so you'd realize that the room is very cold. That's because we are trying to get this to be stable. And this slab, if you could feel the slab, is very cold as well. Okay. Oh, very, very cold. Yeah. The process is known as tempering. Tempering. As the name suggests, temperature. Oh. Right. So we are trying to reduce the temperature of this, which was initially around 50 degrees, okay, all the way down to about 34 degrees. And we want to do that very fast. Okay. So we're going to be spreading it around evenly, okay, applying pressure. All this helps the chocolate to come out stiff, solid, stable. Yeah. And you know, it also apparently adds flavor to the chocolate out. Yeah, right there.
We are there. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Perfect.
I believe this comes with experience. Because,
yeah, definitely. Because it's a very messy process. Even me, myself, with all my experience, you still have some stains on you. You know, your first time trying, you'll not even be comfortable with using the equipment. It's very messy because there's nothing on the edges to help you pour. Yeah. You just have to kind of, so it comes with experience, much like everything in life. You want it to cool down gradually. You don't want to freeze the chocolate, right? So the fridge, when you freeze it, it's not going to be stable as well. It will go through something known as thermal shock, right? So the chocolate is going to freeze, and then it comes out, and then it's all of a sudden a different temperature range. So it's going to go through that shock, and it's not going to be stable. You touch it, and then it's melting in your hand. So you pop it in the fridge for, say, open the fridge for like 20 minutes, and then it'll come out looking very nice and ready to eat.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we are currently with the chief chef. He goes by the name Chef Nee at Delfi Ventures, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the cocoa processing, the final product of making chocolate, how they distribute it to their distributors, how to get access to it. And then at some point, we're going to be inviting one beautiful lady. She's going to be joining us to tell us the story behind Delfi Ventures. You're welcome, Chef Nee.
Thank you very much.
Wow. So we were in there earlier and we saw the process of making chocolates. That was a very beautiful, looked simple, but looks tedious at the same time.
Yeah.
Tell us the whole process, of making chocolate. Where does it start from?
All right. So we'd have to acknowledge the farmers involved in the making of chocolate, because Ghana is known as the best producer of cocoa beans, right? We have the best premium cocoa beans. So it's something we should give credit to the farmers for giving us very good cocoa, right? So that's where it starts from. A number of processes that take place on the farm that are essential to the chocolate making process, from fermentation to drying of the beans. Those are very crucial in the cocoa developed flavor in the cocoa bean. Without those processes, you are not going to be enjoying the chocolate you did today. So it's very important that the farmer is acknowledged and respected for that. We have a lot of respect to pay to them. From there, it's basically up to you, the producer, to determine what you'd want your cocoa or your chocolate product to taste like. Right from the farm, there are various things you can do to the cocoa tree, to the pod, to the beans. Everything, every part of the tree is useful. So you, as the manufacturer, is going to say, okay, I want my chocolate to taste this way. And based on that, you are going to find ways to manipulate the beans to do that. But then we are a chocolate company, so we make chocolate. So I'm going to walk you through that line of the production. So we source the beans from licensed selling companies, right? And then once you acquire the beans, there are various ways to acquire the beans. You can acquire it raw beans. You can acquire just the nibs. Nibs are the beans that have been separated from what you'd call the shells. Okay. It's much like granules having, the husk around it, right? So the nib is what we use in chocolate production. So you source the nibs or the beans or liquor. Liquor is non-alcoholic, by the way. It's just blended cocoa nibs, right, into a paste. So you are able to source any of these forms from the licensed selling companies, right? And then from there, based on your ingredients or your specification, what you want your chocolate to taste like, is going to determine what ingredients you need, right? So the basic ingredients present in the chocolate making, obviously there's sugar in there, there's milk, depending on what you want. I keep on saying depending because food is very diversified, right? It's up to your taste or what people want. And we've taken that as a should I say, a tool to help promote our chocolate, because we are able to tailor the chocolate according to people's specification. I want my chocolate 85% dark, meaning there's a lot of cocoa content in there and very minimal, milk or sugar content in there. So we are very proud to say that yes, we do specify our chocolate products. It's not standardized, right? You come to us saying, I have so and so problem and I want chocolate to eat, but then this is the problem I'm facing. So we look at how to structure the chocolate to satisfy your need.
When you say problem, are you talking in terms of health?
Yeah, in terms of health. So you could be diabetic, meaning obviously you cannot take sugar. So what supplements can we use to give you that sweetening to acquire or enjoy chocolate just like anyone else? Are we going to use honey? Are we going to use some form of sweetness? Depending on your specification, it's up to us to now create that recipe for you so that you enjoy chocolate as well. Because we believe that as Ghanaians, we should enjoy what we are producing as a country.
That's true.
Right, because cocoa is contributing largely to Ghana's financial stability. And then we find ourselves consuming less than 3% of that. To me, that's quite disheartening. So we're on a journey to, promote cocoa consumption on various levels, be it in edibles, as in food, or in cosmetics, anything, just to promote cocoa.
Earlier, you were telling me that cocoa can be used for soap.
Yeah.
And I believe that, but it also came as news to me because
Yeah, there are a couple of people on the market who are even processing the pods to make soap. It's the thing, but I don't want to say Ghanaians don't like to explore, but then that's the fact.
Yeah,
right. We are very relaxed and we just accept what is handed to us. But then we are not going into the market trying to explore new things and then find out what is capable.
Yeah.
We are just sticking to the norm. So I'd urge my people, please explore for us.
True. It's true. I think another fear that comes with exploration has to do with is it authentic? Has it been mixed up? Is there something else in there that we cannot tell? At this point, I think I want to know the background of Delfi Ventures, why it started, how it started, what birthed the idea. So I think it's only prudent to call
Yeah,
Mami
to invite
us.
my grandmom. I'd like to mention that Delfi Ventures is actually a family-owned business.
Yeah.
So it's a lineage, right, from our great-grandfather to my grandmom to my aunt and now to me. So it's a family line something. And all of us are doing our very best to kind of push it to continue. So I'm going to invite my grandmom to continue.
So we've been joined by Mrs. Felicia Asantua Kweke, and she is the grandma of Delfi Ventures. She's going to tell us the story behind Delfi Ventures. You remember that Chef Nee mentioned that it's a family business. So she's going to tell us how it started, how the handing over process has been, the story behind it, basically. You're welcome, Grandma.
Thank you.
Is it okay to call you Grandma?
Yeah, it's okay. Yes, it's okay. Yes.
All right. So, please tell us, what birthed the idea of Delfi Ventures?
Yes, my grandson started with my father is a cocoa farmer.
Oh, okay.
We have about 100 acres of cocoa farm.
Oh, really?
In the eastern region, yes. And from there, we all passed through the farm and then we migrated into various places. Yes. So while schooling, some of them found their way outside and whatever. But still, once it is the family's line of business, some of them took it up. And my father is a farmer, a cocoa farmer. My husband too is a farmer.
Oh, okay.
So from my father to my husband and then to my daughter, who unfortunately passed on a year ago.
Oh, my condolences.
Yes. So she is the one who took up the cocoa business up to the chocolate
stage.
Yes.
Oh.
So this company started with production of water. Then she worked in the chocolate company. So she found out that once she has a background of cocoa, she will step out and then take it up and run it the way it will support the masses. So that's how come Delfi Ventures Cocoa Museum and Chocolate Factory was birthed out.
Oh, okay.
Birthed out.
Okay.
Yes.
You mentioned the museum part of it.
Yes.
Can you touch a bit of it? Earlier, Chef Nee was telling us the things we have here, but if you could touch a bit on the museum part.
Yeah, the museum part is when she traveled to Belgium, and when she came back, she said they don't have cocoa trees, nothing of that sort, but they will depict, they will talk about certain things that will entice the people. So you can see around we have this portraits. We have the shed where we get cocoa beans and then we dry them.
Oh, okay.
So people come and then they want to be trained.
Yeah.
So we take them through from scratch so that they will know exactly what where they are going, where they started and where they are going.
Okay.
So that's how we gave that name museum.
Yeah.
because it's not only doing the chocolate, but you know the in-depth of the industry or the cocoa chocolate making itself. So we attach that museum, and then we have a few things to bring on board so that in future you come here and then you will be marveled. Yes.
Yeah. Mommy, can you tell us how this makes you feel? The fact that Delfi Ventures has become, you know, a startup, but it's really growing very fast and it's out there. How does it make you feel?
I wake up every day and I thank my stars that we are here to give service to life. And where I have found myself and where we are coming from, continually we are promoting giving service to life. And then, you know, cocoa is a healthy, they called it food for the gods.
Oh, okay.
Food for the gods, because the wise knew what they can get out of cocoa. So when you have cocoa, something in your home, in fact, every day I think I'm already in heaven.
You are, and I can see that the cocoa is making you look really young. I'm surprised that you're a grandma. I actually thought you were just a mother. This is generations of people sitting with me, and I feel so blessed to have you here. So at this point, we're going to invite Nii to join us again. He's going to tell us about the challenges they've been through, where they see themselves in the next years to come, and what governments can do to support the industry. So every business comes with its own challenges. When you talk about Delfi Ventures, what has been the challenge with Delfi Ventures?
Okay, so our number one challenge, I wouldn't like to call it a challenge in the first place, but it's something we are seeking to improve on, is the market. When I say the market, there are not a lot of people out there who are actually consuming chocolate on a daily basis. Mainly probably because of the price, right? So we as a company that's producing, what can we do to make sure that if it is the price, what can we do to make sure that it's accessible to the mass populace, right? So we are actually working on a couple of products that tend to make chocolate consuming more affordable, more friendly, more approachable by the masses. Because you think chocolate, you think luxury, right? You think chocolate, you think expensive. So the normal person on the street walking with 10 cedis is not going to think of buying chocolate. No, he's going to think of that skinky at the corner that he can use to satisfy himself. So it's up to us to make sure that we make products that are worth buying, if not on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Something in the households containing this chocolate or cocoa that people would want to consume every single day.
That brings me to my question on government. If government has, put this out there and you're supposed to get it from licensed people and they're selling at international rates and all that, it means that it creates room for people to bypass the licensed people to get it directly from the farmers, which is sort of like quote-unquote illegal. What would you say government should do or can do in order to, reduce the prices? Because if we are producing it here, we should be able to afford it. So what can government do?
What can government do? I'm not really the best person to, give advice to governments, because obviously government knows what it's doing and why it's doing what it's doing. But from the looks of things from here, the free zone companies, which are licensed to sell these beans, do this because it has higher returns and they are a business, they are trying to survive. So what can the government do to help? CPC, which sells the beans and pods, is a Ghanaian owned business. Why are they selling to local producers at international prices? To me, it's unfair. I don't want to say it's wrong, but it's unfair. So as a way of government, helping us, they could give us some leverage or some room to buy at, say, local prices, because you can't buy from the farmer. It's not done. I don't know of any production company that buys straight from the farmer. If they do that, then kudos to them and their processes, but it's not something that's done. And you being in the field, wanting to actually be clean, you'd want to buy
Do the
it the
right
right, do the
thing,
right thing,
yeah.
because traceability, if they get back to you and then you don't want them to shut your business down. So we personally, we buy from the licensed companies, right? So that's something that apparently there have been discussions on higher levels to actually make room for the artisans or local manufacturers to buy at, should I say, local rates. So we are seeking to see some answers, some positive answers from that discussion. But as of now, we are still buying at international prices.
You
Yeah,
can pretty much do everything with the cocoa
a
bean.
lot of
Because
things.
today I'm learning about the soap. Now I'm learning about the different types we have. And you mentioned cosmetic, which means cocoa butter and
Cocoa
all
butter,
those stuff.
cocoa soaps. There's even cocoa vinegar on the market. There's actual cocoa wine.
It's not just flavoring.
It's not just flavoring.
They are
The
real?
actual cocoa wine. Is it Craig? I think Craig. Yeah.
Has actual cocoa
Yeah.
wine.
Cocoa wine that they are producing. It's on the market, but it's on a small scale.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
There's a lot of things that can be done. So they've done a very excellent job with the exploration of the possibilities of cocoa.
Yeah.
Right. It's just probably left with a bit of marketing, because
Yeah.
why haven't we heard of it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of things, and I'll intrigue a lot of people to begin to explore.
Yeah, I like that. What does the future look like for
For
Delfi
Delfi.
Ventures? Yeah,
The future is looking very bright. Very, very bright.
I can see that.
Very, very
I can
bright,
see
because
that.
once we bring those products out and they actually hit the market the way we are looking at, the name Delfi Ventures Cocoa Museum and Chocolate Factory would actually be more, should I say, meaningful, because you'd enter the space and you get to see truly a museum space,
Yeah.
and truly a factory space. Not to say that this is not a factory, but then you see how small scaled this is.
Yeah.
Right? You get here and you see a lot of staff, a lot of people on deck trying to push the product out there. So we're looking at expanding quite soon. We're looking at bringing a lot of products to that every single corner on the streets of Accra and Ghana, you'd see chocolates.
So let me tell you a fun fact. I went for a program, and that will bring me to my next question. I went for a program at Kempinski, and then we were given chocolates.
Yeah.
I saw the chocolate and I ate mine immediately. And I was trying to, find another one and put in my bag because it tasted really nice.
Yeah.
Then I'm on Facebook, I think a couple of days later, and somebody makes a post about the same chocolate. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the same chocolate I had.
Yeah.
And guess what? It was Delfi Ventures.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Wow.
it was. So
Wow.
that's why I'm very excited that I'm getting to interview you now, because, it just feels surreal that
Yeah.
I've been able to come here and doing this interview. My next question is, you've been able to get a contract at Kempinski.
Yeah.
How much are you able to produce
In a day.
in a day, in a week? Who are your targets? How far does it go? And all that.
Okay, so right now, because we are not big league, I should say, we do mostly based on orders. So
Okay.
a couple of people order, like you mentioned, so they'd come say, I want 1,000 of the cubes in a day.
1,000.
Yeah,
You produce up to 1,000?
depends on the production
The order.
capacity. We've trained a couple of people, so when we have large orders coming in, we just source them back and saying, we are contracting
but you
you.
get that much
Yeah.
orders?
For weddings, funerals, a lot of people do come. So then, some very big funerals come say, I
Yeah.
want 2,000 of your cubes.
Really?
Yeah,
On an average, in a week, how many do you produce?
in a week.
Or let's say in a month. Maybe a
In a
month
month.
would be better.
Okay, I think let me give you the daily, production capacity, and then we'll just do the multiplication from there. So in a day, the cubes, for example, they are our best sellers
Okay.
because they are easy to pick, easy to
Yes.
share, easy to distribute. Right, we are able to make sales of 12,000 a day
Huh?
from the cubes.
Huh?
Yeah.
12,000.
12,000 Ghana cedis a day from the cubes.
Oh, 12,000 Ghana cedis.
12,000
Oh,
Ghana.
I thought, I thought
No,
you
no, no,
said
no, no, no.
12,000 pieces in
No,
a
no,
day.
no, no. 12,000 Ghana cedis in sales
Okay.
from the cubes.
But it's still a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a very lucrative space.
Yes,
Once it's
it
done
is.
and done well, I feel like a lot of more people can tap into
Yeah.
this multi-billion-dollar industry, because it's really huge.
It is a
It's really huge. once we do expand, it means the orders are going to increase.
True.
We can actually employ a lot of people
True.
and then give jobs to the people in the community.
True.
Imagine all the constituencies having chocolate factories, employing 100 plus people. That's creating jobs.
That's great.
Do you understand? So it's a very nice idea that is beginning to grow, and then we are loving what it's creating for us.
I like that. So before I venture into, putting your social media handles out there and how people can contact you, you
Yeah.
mentioned that you've trained certain people. How do people apply to become, to be trained?
Okay, so when you do reach us through our social media platforms, there's a form you fill, and then you could be tutored, which means it comes at a fee,
Yeah.
or you could be trained as an asset or as someone we could source if need be.
Yeah.
And then we contract you to help us produce probably for like a week or two, because there's a lot of production to be done. So we have various ways of training. There's a 1 week intensive program
Okay.
which takes you from the farm to the factory.
Oh.
That means you are going to learn the science behind the growing of a tree, harvesting the fruits, and
You teach
processing
all
it
that?
into chocolate. Yeah, the entire science. So you are walking out of here as a master,
Baked.
knowing every single thing to know about the cocoa bean and how it works to become chocolate. Right? You leave here as a master, even capable of teaching another
Others,
person as
yeah.
well, or starting up your own business. Right? So it's a way of promoting cocoa knowledge and
Yeah.
also just spreading the word of cocoa as well.
So you have 1 week intensive.
We have a 1 week intensive program. We have a 3-day practical session.
Okay.
That means it's strictly in the factory.
Okay.
So it's just chocolate production. You don't know anything about the farm, just chocolate manufacturing. We have a 1-day course,
Okay.
which is is very intensive as well, because you get bits and pieces of the farm, you get a major aspect in the factory, and then some one-to-one to
So it all
guiding
depends on
tutorials.
the individual.
It
and what
depends
they
on the
want to
individual
know.
and your availability.
Availability.
Right? We run the course, the 1 week course, we run it twice a year, in March and in November.
Okay.
Right? March and November. So these 2 times we accumulate a number of people,
Yeah.
and then we train like as a class.
okay.
And then they graduate and they are awarded certificates.
Oh.
That shows that yes, they've been trained to become chocolatiers.
Yeah. Wow. Let's take your social media handles and contacts. details.
Okay, so you could find us on Instagram, which is where we are most active. Delfi_ventures.
How do you
right?
spell the Delfi?
DELFI_ventures. Right, over there you get to see our wide range of products, all the lovely things we are doing. And you'd be able to reach us through there. You see our price list for the training sessions as well,
Oh, great.
and everything there.
Oh, that's really cool, because usually these things are not put out there. I don't know why.
We
but
put
that's
it there
really
so that
cool.
you get to know exactly what you are calling into, not to waste. Because me personally, if I'm shopping online, I like to see what I'm going for. You don't go to ShopRite and then go to the teller and say how much is there.
Exactly.
No, you see it there and then you make your decision. So yeah,
Contact number.
contact 020-679-3795.
All right, 020-679-3795. And this brings us to the end of our conversation with Chef Nee. And this is Delfi Ventures and Chocolate Museum. What again?
Factory.
And it's a very beautiful place. It's a very beautiful space. They are located in Dansoman at Sakaman. It's just not so far from the bus stop. And I really, really, really wish that this becomes a call to action to all of you to, buy made in Ghana. Because I was very heartbroken when he mentioned that we don't like exploring. And that's actually true. So please, let's make the habit of buying made in Ghana an everyday thing, and then also let's purchase our chocolates from Delfi Ventures. It was
Yeah.
nice speaking with you.
Nice speaking to you as well.
So till we'll see you again, same time next week, Thursday. I am Lily Pearl Baba Utu, and this is Inspiring Startups.